Dear guests, it's my great honor to present tonight's Progressical Award to the creator, Ivan Jezebik. Winner was never afraid to challenge conventions and to push boundaries, both artistic and social. Ivan is a storyteller who embodies courage, quality that is in today's Serbia more necessary than ever. In times when the political climate is far from easy, when freedom of expression is not to be taken for granted, Ivan has chosen the harder path to speak openly, to tackle uncomfortable truths, and to create television that resonates far beyond the borders of his country. His work is deeply rooted in local reality, yet it carries a universal message reminding us that stories born in seemingly small and troubled places can have the power to move audiences across Europe and the world. The Progressive Killer Award is given to those who dare to move television forward, to break stereotypes, and to open new perspectives. Ivan does all this, and he does it with authenticity. Oh my god! I know you know what creative brilliance and above all courage. Ivan, it is with admiration and respect that I hand you this award tonight. It celebrates not only your remarkable achievements, but also the bravery and determination it takes to make television that truly matters. Congratulations. Very simple what happened. Don't be prepared, but right now I ask Ivan as every year a progressive killer to hold a speech. So please, the stage is yours.
Thank you so much. So such kind words. I didn't even know that all this about Mexico. But yeah, they told me to give the speech on birth to Laura's, and she's good. And I managed to get it in under 10 minutes. And there are some things I like to say because I'm just right. I'm not honestly not a giant deal. Either home or internationally, but there are the things arising at time of the Daifebe. People need to know about because not many people know about these things. But first, um, enormous thanks to the fast part. I've been here with the series 3 years ago with the series in Block 27. And I always dreamed of coming back, except I never dreamed that I'll be back in this is why I said, now I am. So thanks so much, Camila and Dominica and Dan and everyone at the festival for having me. So time there. It's been what's the most important thing I want to say is that this word is not for me specifically. Um, Even though I am quite talented, extraordinarily successful thing. But it's not about me. I will tell you in a couple of minutes. So as you've heard, I'm from Serbia, and um, I don't know much to do about the Balkans, but that we most of it here is to know that we love our smoking indoors and alcohol, and we love our autocracy and dictatorships. And despite the tough reputation we have, we rarely protest. And yet, you probably know we are protesting now. Serbia has been in a state of constant protest for almost a year now. And I'll tell you why. Um, November 1st last year, in my city of Novi a concrete canopy of a train station collapsed and killed 16 people. Uh, I am a writer, but I'm not exaggerating for the dramatic purposes. I was supposed to be there. That day, was supposed to go to a writer's room and went like, and the other day in the previous, I don't know how many, I had to go and take the train to Belgrade, and then I decided against it, and I took the car so I could take my dogs. And so I wasn't there on that day, but I went to Belgrade and I just had a full day of phone calls, people asking me if I was okay, and so on and so on. And 16 people died under that canopy, and it was something that, accidents happen, but accidents don't happen in places that are completely renovated 2 years ago to the price of 65 million euros. And you don't know what the station looks like, but you can build 10 of those for 65 million euros. So for the first time, it was absolutely and without any doubt clear that what we were, that these 16 people died because of corruption. Nothing but corruption. Simple as that. They didn't renovate the whole thing. They took the money, and people died because of that. And people started protesting very soon after, simply asking for responsibility. Simply asking for someone to be arrested for that reason. And it didn't happen. And what was first, local protests started becoming, national news. Traffic blockades and general strikes, and soon enough, students joined the protests, and they blockaded the universities of Serbia in what turned out to be probably the biggest student movement since, I guess, 1968. And in Serbia, simply asking for responsibility, simply asking for some arrests, some trials, something. Nothing has happened so far. And the government, instead of listening, just cracked down, and cracked down hard. People were getting fired all over public services. Teachers, heads of local communities, and university professors, daycare workers would get fired because they don't support the government. And the protests were cracked on hard. People were getting constantly beaten up and arrested by the police, but also getting arrested by government loyalists in black shirts who were protected by the police. It was, and it's really bad. I have friends in house arrest, have this current one for absolutely no reason. And going further and going closer to what we do here, the media came under complete blackout. Media in Serbia is almost completely controlled by the government, both private and public. And not only did they not report on the protests, but when they did protests, it was propaganda that was equal to the Third Reich propaganda, and how audacious it was. Suddenly, we who are not supporters of the government were branded traitors. We were branded like instructed by foreign governments and poisoned by foreign propaganda. All these things you thought that had no place in the contemporary media landscape, suddenly they saw it all like Goebbels style, and still going wrong, and it's not getting better. But coming closer to what we do, which is television. How does it relate to us? Probably most of you know that Serbia has enjoyed something of a boom of production in the past, let's say 6 or 7 years, and it's true. We were a lot of us, including me, benefited greatly from that boom. That's the exact reason why I started working in Serbia after all. And the boom was driven primarily by the public broadcasters, both digital and terrestrial ones. And sure, why not? Of course. Soon enough, one thing became really clear. Big parts of the plan, big part of the agenda was that the production boom was supposed to be something that would shock up the film and TV workers in Serbia. In what sense? Uh, if you've had a film or TV series produced by the public broadcasters, then somehow you're not supposed to criticize this thing. That became very obvious, especially since the protests started and since the accident, because, obviously the reasoning is if you've had a film or TV series commissioned by the public broadcasters, you're somehow not supposed to criticize corruption that killed 16 people. And we've heard it all over the state news about how these people are complaining, yet they're benefiting from the very system, which I argue to be a pretty bad argument altogether. And obviously, it did not work for them. Dissenting voices were get kirk, and the way they decided to crack down on it is very simple, by allowing, since then, only people who are loyal to the government, to Bushata, to work. And it's been exactly like that since then. There are it's no secret that there are listed actors that can work with directors that can work very close to the scrutiny is paid to social networks, where if you so much as a post a reel about the student protests, you are not getting work, not ever. And that's the exact moment we are living now. Cast members and crew members are getting fired because they support the protests. If you would think that being the lead actor in a series is going to save you from being banned, you're wrong. Because recently, the lead actor of a fairly popular show is fired from the fourth season. The show can cancel. If you think that this cover can save you, it can't, because recently a very Wisconsin TV series was canceled 3 days before the started shooting because the lead actor was a supporter of the protests. And you would say, of course, morally that's pretty bad, but what about, is that a good way to run business? I would say it's not. So it's probably additional instability to what's been going on. But it's not. It's not. Of course, it's not just television. It's not just film. All art and culture in Serbia is much like everywhere else in Eastern Europe. It's publicly funded. And since the accident, no public calls has been made for arts or culture or film or anything. It's gone to a complete standstill. No one is able to work. No one is able to focus on the future. These are non-pecan services. It's stopped, of course, but this is just one of the big repressions. What's going on? I mean, I can go on about this for days. I can go on about series being bunkered just because the lead actor is the supporter. The protests. I can go on about a very current scandal that involves the government trying to forcefully take over the last opposition TV network, for example. But I'm not. It's not. It's not even about. It's not even. It's not even about in talking about these individual cases, or it's not even about Serbia in particular. There's one point I want to make with this, which is do your homework and watch out whom you're dealing with and doing the business with, because I'm talking global. I'm not talking about anything specific, but like flashy show reels and enticing opportunities and whatever. It can actually be a front. It can actually hide a system that is forcefully silencing and censoring its own creators, and even worse, it's feeding the worst tendencies we're seeing in today's civilization. I'm really talking globally, and that's what I'm saying. Is pay attention whom we're dealing with. And the rest, um, democracy is very brittle. It's very fickle. We can see it all over the world. It's failing. But we here in this room and further, we can do our own little part in that, and refuse to deal with the same people that are eroding that sane democracy and making it difficult for everyone else. And if we do that, we might just have um, a small chance of maybe seeing that democracy. So that was I think my point in the whole thing. So when I said this award is not for me, although I am quite brilliant. This award is for all the TV, and film, and culture and hard workers in Serbia who are possibly living the darkest times of their professional lives right now. And may this award, and your support, your attention to these issues be ray of light in their lives. So thank you so much.